Okay, it looks like we've got a little something left to do. Just one more thing. Let me know if this is a little too loud. I'm going to turn down my music just a little bit more. There we go. That way it's not so loud in my ear, and it's just you and me, right? I can always turn it up again later. It's also super bright. Oh, I got some perky Lofi tonight. Maybe we ought to turn that down just a little bit more. There we go. Hopefully it's enough background that we don't have to worry too much about it. At any rate, here we are. Hello everyone, my name is Wynne Blue, and I'm your friend, always. I'm a musician and an artist out of Seattle, Washington. Unless you are a purist, then I'm actually from Bothell. You want to look it up? That's fine. Bothell. I find it funny because it's Bothell. I am thinking I want to change this music. It's not very chill, is it? But I have played it before. Let's see if this other one works a little better. Yeah, that's kind of nice. All right, melodies for the heart. I'm going to start it over because it's like 3 hours of happy, chill music. At any rate, how are you? I hope you're doing all right. And tonight I am going to continue with my affirmations. I am going to continue playing with the tarot, and we're going to see exactly how far we can go tonight. I think I'm going to follow a specific, let's see, what am I actually going to do? I'm going to follow the whole let's create some pictures. Let's create some affirmations for each one, and we'll take it from there. I have to look at exactly what I've done because I have not used my sketchbook properly. I've done pages out of order and on the backs, and it's in the interest of saving paper because, well, why have a sketchbook if you're only going to use one side of the paper? I guess if you expect to pull this stuff out and stick it somewhere else, you'll be fine. So I'm going to open up my sketchbook here, and we're going to go through what I've already done. Okay? Let's back this up a little bit. And I can always pick it up and show it to you. So in Affirmations 1, I just pulled cards from random, and I chose randomly, of course, the Queen of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, the Fool, the Three of Swords, and the Magician. Now, this version of the Magician is kind of boring, so I did a little something extra that I think works maybe a little better. I just have to figure out how to work her into the design. And then at some point, I did the Empress. Kind of nice, right? So I'm going to turn this upside down here, and I'm going to, well, sideways at least, and I'm going to take it from the Empress because we have everything in a certain order. And let's see if I can find I'm trying to find the thing that I used last time. And of course, I have this so it's not quite right. All right. All right, so my tarot deck has, where is it? It's right here. My tarot deck is the Mythic Tarot. It was pretty new in the late 80s, and they've re-released it several times. So this is the High Priestess that we did last time. And I separated the Major Arcana so I can find it pretty easily. There we go. And if I need to, I'll just shuffle them back in. Not a big deal. But what I was hoping to do at some point this evening is to scan this one, the Fool, and the Magician, the fancy one, not your standard run-of-the-mill magician. So these are the ones that I know we've done so far. Pretty neat, huh? I'm going to move this up a little bit. And then we can get close. So what I have here in my list, Usually either the magician or the fool is first. So I have the fool, I'm going to put him aside. The magician, I'm going to put him aside. And the high priestess, let's put her aside. Let's see who's next. The empress, let's find her. There she is. Excuse me. I want to put these someplace I'm not going to lose them. Okay, so we have the Empress, and I'm going to look up very quickly what the Empress actually means in a tarot sense. Now, generally, she is attraction of life, that whole goddess energy. If you're familiar with the phases of the moon and some neo-pagan thought processes of mysticism, female energy, fertility, that kind of thing. So when the Empress appears in a tarot spread, she usually is a symbol of growth. Growth and the female energy that grows life, that grows, but it takes time, right? In this picture, this is Demeter, or as I used to call her, Demeter. Really depends on who you hang out with. But she is amongst the fields, and she is pregnant. And she's got a little crown. So maybe this isn't Demeter, maybe this is Persephone. But at any rate, she's amongst the fields, she is pregnant, she is growing life and having that goddess energy, that soft, beautiful, strong energy that's feminine. But see, the Empress is interesting in that sense that she represents good things, vibrant things that take time to manifest. It takes strength, it takes softness, but it takes time. So I'm going to look in my deck. My deck may have a slightly different definition, but I doubt it. It is Demeter. So in this deck, it is actually a more literal definition of motherhood and the beginning of a phase of life. But it still takes time. It's still a warm, nurturing growth. It's still a very goddess energy. So here we go. What should we do with Demeter? I'm going to grab a pencil and see what sort of a full thing I can do with her. So what I'd like to do is I would like to go into and look at some other images of the Empress as a goddess, feminine, nurturing, growth energy. Okay. I'm going to open up a window. But I don't want to do that. Window capture. There we go. All right, there we go. Let's look at her. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to make her just a little bigger. All right, there we go. So we've got a lot here to look at. So I'm going to go down here, and we're going to look at some pictures of the Empress. And they all pretty much have a similar, just a similar way of going about things. You have a beautiful, motherly woman. She's queen-like. She has symbols of fertility all around her, like the pomegranate, and there's a feminine thing. This is very much like the Empress card that is in the original Rider-Waite. But it's all symbols of fertility, and there is a grand motherly caring. Oh, look at that. That is the Empress as done in the Masters of the Universe. I love fun tarot. That's great. It probably isn't actually She-Ra, but it totally looks like her. Got yourself a little warm orange cat in the fields in the back. So you get a gist of exactly who the Empress is. She is a mother figure. She has a command. She's surrounded by growth and the potential for life. There's life all around her. So what can we do? There's another female symbol. What can we do to affirm this beautiful, beautiful symbol? What do you think we can do with that? I don't know about the glamour. The glamour doesn't appeal to me. That's probably AI generated, you never know. But there are some truly beautiful symbolisms in some of these examples. All right. Let's turn off this window capture and get to it. I think I actually really want to do some sort of feminine potential kind of thing. So let's get at it. Pitter patter. I don't know what the heck is going on, but Google keeps signing me out of my account. There we go. I think I'm gonna move my chats somewhere else. No, they can stay there. I don't care. So I'm going to test out some ideas down here. It's going to be hard not to stick to the cliche, but I kind of want to pay homage to it, you know. So I have a nice lady. And she's holding a staff. want her to have a crown because a crown is a recurring theme. We'll get some of that feminine energy in there. I keep thinking her belly should be a different shape and size. Because I don't want her to seem frail or fragile. She should definitely seem like someone who has a little something that you don't want to mess with too much. Okay, so we have a basic shape. And I'm going to go back to my visual references here. Most of these empresses are sitting on a throne. I don't know if I want my empress to sit on a throne. But I am definitely okay with things like flowers. I kind of like the idea of putting something in the mix that is a fruit. Hey beach doggy, how are you doing? We're working on the Empress and trying to get a little something right. I'm looking at some things that might actually allow for something a bit more interpretive. I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Let's go up. Am I close? Yeah, I'm close. So we're going to have to look down kind of peacefully. And then we're going to make sure that we have a nice crown. Ooh, things can get really quiet in here when I'm focusing. Okay. Let's get this crown cleaned up a little bit. Thank you. It's really easy to just go ahead and try to do what everybody else is doing, but I'm going to steal like an artist here. So I'm taking a little bit of this card and a little bit of a couple of other cards I've seen. And we're going to see how it's done. I'm doing a lot of yawning this evening, so I will try to do it away from the microphone. Okay. So we're going to give her some goddess energy here by way of some pretty flowers. So this week is an interesting week because this weekend is one that I end up going to play D&D at a friend's house. Now I'm 100% for D&D. Don't let me fool you, okay? That yawning. Yesterday I fought really hard to stay awake. It was very distressing. My therapist told me, he says, you need to contact your therapist, your sleep doctor, excuse me, and you need to tell her that this is going on. I said, well, I would have, but they rearranged my follow-up. He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, when I went to go pick up my special sleepy machine, they said I needed to reschedule, so I rescheduled. And now it won't be until October, but by October I will either be improving or not improving. But it never occurred to me to just contact my doctor. Hey man, what is this? What is this? Ooh. Now, how do I get the symbolism in here? That is the question. I should see if I can get a V8 energy. Because I just went to grocery outlet today and I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and one of them was a 6-pack of strawberry lemonade, V8 energy, for 99 cents. Those 6-packs cost at least $7 or $8 in your grocery store. I love the grocery outlet. I recently found some really great instant coffee I like there. Thank you. But 99 cents for a 6-pack of something like this. And I'm going to try and do this away from the microphone, and I'm going to fail. So much for being quiet. I really hope I don't end up falling asleep on the stream. Because I don't think my husband knows how to turn it off. And because he's not tech savvy, I think it might frustrate him. The other day, we got a call from the IRS because I guess there are some things that were missing from their records. And wouldn't you know it, it was information that we didn't have a copy of. And he was panicking, and the woman on the other end of the phone, she was a saint. Very sweet, very calm. And my husband does not have a soft voice. His voice pierces a room. It's one of the things that made him very fun to go to a live music show, is that you could hear him over the crowd. You never had to worry about losing him somewhere. Because all he needed to do was open his mouth. It was a beautiful thing, really. Beautiful. But at any rate, I went to the grocery outlet and I got some nice instant coffee. I got some V8 energy. I got some makeup wipes, and don't tell anybody, but I also got a box of Star Crunch. I know that doesn't mean anything to a lot of people. But Star Crunch is one of those things that every time I go to grocery outlet, I really, really want it. Now, why is that, Wynne? Why do you have a hankering for Star Crunch from Little Debbie? Little Debbie's Star Crunch. Well, before they were available up here, they were common in the South, much like Krispy Kreme. We always had some sort of Little Debbie cake. And Star Crunch happened to be one of my favorites. I don't even know if they sell the ones that were my 100% save a bunch for the apocalypse kind of flavor. But there were also these lovely, speaking of Little Debbie, there were these lovely little things they called fudge rounds. Which were basically moon pies, but better. There's something about moon pies I'm not particularly fond of. All right, pretty lady with pretty hair. quiet smile. I would have wandered up and down the aisles of the grocery outlet, but I had groceries, I had vegetables from the Yakima fruit market in my car. I had tomatoes and strawberries and and 4 ears of corn. Now I know we can't cook anything, and that's fine, because if you've got a really good ear of corn, there's no law that says you can't just eat it. Just take all the husks off. Carefully take off all the silk and just take a bite. It's a beautiful thing. But I really love the Yakima fruit market. The tomatoes were bigger and less expensive. I wonder if these eyebrows are in the right place. Because she's looking down, right? Crowns. So I finally talked to my dad for Father's Day. It was really nice. It was a nice conversation. And he's been talking to someone who he says is, it's scandalous, Wynne. I'm seeing a younger woman. And my first thought was, Dad, no. That would make me very uncomfortable. And he says, she's 70. My dad is 80. So apparently, when you're 80, 10 years younger is scandalous. I know he was making a joke, but that's just silly. So I asked him, I said, so is this lady nice? I mean, I don't know anything about her. He says, well, she lives a couple hours north, and we talk on the phone, and we talk on Facebook, and she's really nice, and she's a good listener. I thought, okay, well, that's good. I said, don't give her any money. See, that's a Wynne joke. My dad is smart, but he's 80. And they always find something to get you with. I know I've almost fallen for it. And I am not anywhere close to my dad's age. Scandalous dad. So she has given him some motivation, which I think is super nice. Because, see, I was very worried about my dad. He lives a good 4.5 hours drive from me. He lives on the Washington coast. A 5-minute walk from the beach. Okay, let's see what this crown is going to do. So there we go. She has been inspiring him by giving him a few suggestions on how to manage his home. Because he had mentioned at one point that he was having a hard time dealing with the mess that he had created. You know, he really wanted to have visitors again, but he was really very upset with the state of how he left it, and he just hasn't been able to pick up and do something. So she just gave him little assignments, and when they talked, she'd ask him, well, did you do the assignment? And then she'd tease him if he didn't do it. He said, I got rid of so many boxes, I don't have to climb over anything anymore. And I thought, you know what, Dad? That's pretty fucking awesome. Pardon my French, but my dad respects cussing, and so I have to do it. So if you don't drop a good F-bomb once in a while, he just kind of looks at you. Okay. Okay, so I'm taking some imagery Let's see, I can't get much closer, but I am going to get closer with the camera. So I have this little crown. And it has the symbol of Venus on it. Oh, come on. Give me some focus, baby. Come on. All right. I hate it when my camera does weird stuff like that. Okay, so I have the symbol of Venus. And then some stars, because the original Rider-Waite, the crown was filled with stars. I don't know how many stars I'm going to need, but seems I'm chipping away at lots of little things. But that's kind of how drawing goes. You just eyeball it, you go, oh, something's not right. Procreate has made that so much easier to deal with, you know. So we have our Empress. Big golden flowy hair right here. She's looking down. Very serene. I'm going to try and give her a little gentler look. Come on, you. Do it. Yeah, there we go. Something very gentle. Come on. Oh, I hate how this thing keeps going fuzzy. I'm going to narrow her shoulders a little bit. Yesterday I went to Totem Lake and I decided because I had just fought off a nap by taking one in a dining chair. It was not great. Not terribly comfortable, but it is what it is. And once I got up, I said I need to go get some makeup because the tube of makeup that I was working on, that I'd had for a while, way past the expiration, it was empty. Empty because I keep using it for streaming. And I had been to Ulta at the Totem Lake Mall several times. A couple of those times was with Jack. I know, exciting. And well, I would try on a color and I would say, Jack, does this match? Does this match my skin? And he'd say, I don't know. I don't know what you expect me to say, Wynne. I don't know anything about makeup. To which I said, it doesn't matter. The question is, does it match? He was not pleased with that. And usually the time that I go shopping is close to closing time, and I know that people working in retail really hate that. But you know, sometimes that's the only way to get any kind of shopping done, is to do it later. So let's see what else I've got here. And that late at night, right before closing, all of their experts are getting ready to go. They don't want to help anybody. They just don't. Let's see if I can get some. Nope, that's not what I want. So I'm pretty much stuck on my own. Which is fine, except I keep wanting other eyes to look at what I've got, you know? And that's pretty much all I want. I want somebody to come by and I want to say, does this match? Yes or no? Does this one match? What about this one? That's all I want. All it takes is one good pair of eyes. Because I have things that I want my makeup to do. So last night I was kind of trying to figure out how to make this purchase happen. I don't know if you can tell, but that's supposed to be wheat. So I'm there in the Ulta. It's like 15 minutes till they close. I'm kind of desperate for anybody other than Jack. But what I ended up doing was I chose something. I kind of like the concept. You know, it's not liquid, it's not a goo. You just put it on your face, and hope it matches. So it's kind of like a pressed powder. And I got up there and I said to the girl behind the counter, I said, "What's your return policy?" She says, "Keep your receipt, 30 days." I said, "Okay, that's great, because I don't know if this is going to be the right color." And then she said, "And it has to be 80% not used." I thought, okay, that makes sense. So if you bought some makeup for a theater program, you might be out of luck. All right, there's some wheat, because wheat seems to be a theme. All right, here we are. So we have some vines. Let's see, pomegranates, do they grow on trees, I think? Oh, they do grow on trees. See if we can get some really pretty flowers in here. Let's see, I don't think I want this to be a vine. I think I want it to be a branch. pictures of pomegranate tree. Okay, that's uninteresting. Ah, right. Gotta scroll down for it. Let me tell you, before people pluck them off the tree, they look really weird. Maybe this is the answer. Don't just draw the tree, draw all the leafy branches. There we go. I am hesitant to just draw these as open bits because that seems wrong. So as far as the Empress goes, so let's see. I am going to go grab something real quick. Because I kind of need it for this next portion. This shouldn't take a minute. See what I tell you. Shouldn't take a minute. I love that I have these little panels. I should take them out of my sketchbook. All right. Here we go with our Empress. And I want to do, let me clean this up over here. These leaves look really messy. I can always clean them up later, but they look messy now. Okay. So we have some vines on a tree over here. We have some wheat and flowers. Okay. I kind of figure I'll be putting whatever affirmations I have in here. So I'm going to come through here and I'm going to grab, because this is kind of a neat little workbook. I could color her if I wanted to. I'm not going to tonight. Pomegranates are weird. Not yours. Yes, they are. Pomegranates are weird, but you know what? They make good juice. They do. Pretty good juice. Although I would hesitate to call that juice. It's more like Kool-Aid. Rich, fertile landscape. Love and fulfillment. Difficulties and limitations which motherhood brings. Apparently, according to this book, pomegranates are the fruit of conjugal love. So what we have here are is goddess energy. Feminine energy. So I have down, let's see, goddess energy, feminine energy, new life, slow growth in a good way. I think that would kind of be an interesting thing to play upon, but I also want to emphasize that feminine energy that the Empress does. So let's try this. Damn. Let's see, life is growing within me. So let's see, I have the goddess within me. I'm trying to think of what else here. There we go. The feminine energy inside me makes me strong. Or how about growth? Takes time. Kind of weird trying to come up with something. I mean, I could ask AI to help me out with these things, but I don't think that that's truly honest. And perhaps that's a poor business choice. Excuse me. But I find it's the energy that comes from it is a lot more genuine if the thoughts are human. So I want human things. And even though some people might think, okay, well, AI is taught by humans. Okay, so this right here, let's see if I can I find some of these things, these generalized definitions, to be helpful. Growth is inevitable. Growth is my power. Ooh, I like that one. Growth is my strength. How's that? Because let's see, what does this particular definition say? Fertility, motherhood, beauty, growth, abundance, creativity, and the divine feminine. Or how about this? My I would say my strength and creativity grow with every day. That's a good one. I just wonder if it will fit here. It probably will. But I would put this right in here. All right, so there's the Empress, and I have all my notes. I'm going to put a couple of stars down here next to these really cool ones. I like that a lot. Okay. The next one is the Emperor. Oof. Not looking forward to the Emperor. Okay, so let's look at the Emperor. There's not much that is exciting about this one. So I'm just going to start with there we go. Let's move to had to step away. What was the decision, if I don't mind going back? Well, let's turn over my sketchbook here. I put stars next to growth is my strength, and my strength and creativity grow with every day. So I haven't quite decided, but I do like the thing about growth and strength and creativity, because those are those are things that are usually associated with the Empress. So from there, we are going to move on to the next one. And yeah, I went to the dentist. I don't like the dentist. I just don't like it. I don't like the dentist. Dun, da, 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 dun. What a weird thing to sing over a stream about the tarot. But my voice is so soft. Did you even notice I did? You know, I look back at my history with the tarot, and I think, you know, for a really long time, I've wanted to create my own deck. But it takes a lot of work, you know? And you have to think about what it means to you, truly. All right, I'm going to put the Empress away. And we're going to find the Emperor. There we go. So I'm going to switch scenes here for a second. Should be painless. All right, here we go. And let's see if this works. Yes. Okay, so we have our Emperor, and we have this guy over here. This is your standard Rider-Waite Emperor. Whoop. And if we zip through some of these right here, you'll see that there is some common imagery, like he's holding something in his hand. In my card, it's the world. Let's see. We have, he's always holding something. This is important. Now for this particular one, it doesn't look like he's actually holding on to something, but he does have a horned god kind of element to him, you know? Here's another one where he's holding an orb of some kind. And notice he's in armor. All of them are in armor. Another orb. Ah, here's another horned god. Very interesting. This one, I think, is from the Pagan Grimoire, which explains the horns, right? There's another orb, but he's not holding it. But see, you'll see he's wearing red robes, very regal. That's very simple, isn't it? But you know, the horned god, you'll see this one also has horns. That is because of the horned god. When you think of the whole emperor, the authority, the regal god energy kind of thing, the horns are very much a god energy, a masculine energy. See, even in the original, a lot of common themes in here. There's, you see, some of them have eagles in them, or lions, or something gold. So I'm going to take us out of this. Here I am again. So, what are we thinking? We are thinking there's definitely a male energy here, and in my card, it looks like we have Zeus. Zeus is a father figure. It's a father energy, and he holds the world in his hand and has the power of thunder and lightning, and there is a bit of control. Let me see if I can find it in here and if my interpretation is correct. Yep, this is Zeus. And so we think of masculine energy when we think of Zeus and kings and father figures, things that create structure, right? And that's where the orb is. In a lot of the cards, the orb was simply a symbol of the regal, the kingly, the royalty of it all. But in this one, where he's got the world, let me go in a little closer. I know that's not much closer. So he's got a little orb here that's the world. And over here, he's holding lightning bolts. He wears a crown. And in this particular regalness, you have what looks like lion's paws and an eagle. Across the mountain for Mount Olympus. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's father energy, it's structure, it's backbone. It is something that creates a foundation, whereas the goddess energy, the Mother Earth figure, is very soft, very emotional, very fluid and gentle. This has a little more rigidity in it, but it's a necessary one. It's one that creates, that constructs, that manifests, that kind of thing. It also has a bit to do with discipline, because in order to manifest a number of things in one's life, you have to think about what does it take? It takes discipline. It takes that part of you that creates the structure and follows it, right? So we're going to see what we can do about this, and I'm going to take a little bit of symbolism from some of the other cards that we saw earlier in the other scene. I don't know if I like this particular light. Yeah, turn that off. There we go. So let's see, what can we do? So we have the wand and the scepter, which seems to be the concrete, these are symbols of authority, right? But how do we figure out what creates the foundation? So I'm going to scribble out some things down here in the bottom. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this, but I don't think this card has much to do with comfort. So I don't want to put some sort of nurturing spin on this father figure. So I've got the Superman pose here. But I think that symbolism is for a different day. So I might try something else. Yeah, see, I don't think Superman is kind of a I don't think the Superman pose is appropriate for this, so we're going to try something else. Okay. have some reference things that I'm going to be looking at. So I'm looking up powerful masculine pose. And what I got? I'll tell you what I got. I got a bunch of bodybuilders doing bodybuilding poses. I don't want a bodybuilding pose for something fatherly. That just doesn't work for me. So what's another word for some of these are not disciplined? Superman poses if I use the word authority. I wish I could show you some of these. Look for Conan in that big chair. Conan. It was at the end of one of his movies. Yeah, there we go. Although if I remember correctly, that was kind of a sad scene. I see something in a throne. Okay. There's some interesting, something very kingly. It's interesting what the internet finds to be kingly. It's usually a man with his arms crossed. And I don't really want that. Okay, I just encountered an AI pose, and the man had one arm and two shoulders. And it was kind of creepy. The longer I looked at it, the weirder it was. Okay, I'm going to try something else. Yeah, there's a lot of crossed arms. This is taking too long. I should probably have you look over my shoulder for this. Okay, I think I have it. I think I have it. All right. So we have we have a pose, and I'm just going to do it from the waist up. And it's going to be kind of a protective pose. So I have this. I don't know if you can see it. So we have something like this. But I don't want it to be front like this. I want it to be, let's see, how do I turn this around? All right. So rather than have him just like this, what I want is something closer to, let's see. Hi, honey. I'm looking for something over here. Do you see the male and female figures? I would like the male figure with his little stand, if it's there. Is this his? Yeah, this is his. Okay. All right. Thank you, honey. All right, so we have our little dude here. I really need this to stop getting all fuzzy. That would be super awesome. So I'm going to back out just a little bit. So what I would like is to have something where he's more like this, off to the side, or even like this. You know, I think that looks pretty cool. And then you can look at him like that. Because he is taking a fatherly but a regal pose, because we'll have a staff right there. He's kind of a leader of some kind. Yeah. I like that. I like that look right there. Quit getting fuzzy. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to get ready to take a picture of him with my phone so that I can get the reference I want. I wonder, do I need any of this? Come on, you little so-and-so. There you go. Doing a little surgery here. If you're squeamish, don't look. There we go. All right, and I do have something that can I don't know, is a sword a suitable staff? That's not big enough. That's not. As always, thank you for your patience. Let's see if this one works. If it doesn't, then I'll just go ahead and use the sword. Good enough. Man, my poor cards. They've been wrapped and unwrapped and sorted and filed. Now I know this is pretty gray on your screen, but for what I want to do, it works perfectly. I think the only thing that I missed on that was that with a black background I can't really see the staff. So I might have to take that from a different angle. All right, that one's a little better. One more. do you think? I think that one does what I need it to. Thank you, Mr. Man. I am not going to move this pose. I'm just going to put him over to the side and hope he doesn't fall down. All right. So what I have here is something to use as a guide. So I'm going to just take up this whole damn piece of paper and see what I can do about establishing this. This scribbly is scribbly. It's very scribbly. But you know, it's the scribbly thing that you have to do in order to find what you really want to do. So let's see if I can do this one more time. Because I know I can do this perspective. It's just a challenge. Perspective is a challenge for anyone. And I've done it before. So we have that, and we have this. Because it's this torso that's going to throw me off. that's what's throwing me off. Hard to say. You know what? I'm just going to throw myself into that space regardless. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Where'd my other pencil go? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to try to do this kind of quick because if I think about it too hard, if I go too slow, then nothing's going to happen, and I don't want that. So I have to just make sure I have exactly what I need. And I can always adjust these things later. Okay, there we go. Better than what I thought it was going to be. Although I don't think anybody draws hands correctly the first time. Not even yours truly. Okay, there we go. We have some lift off. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to erase some guidelines in here. So that they are not quite so odd looking. So I think the king should not have quite so much an angle on his crown. Maybe just your standard king crown. And why is his face shaped like that? Oh. What are you thinking, Wynne? I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's a king, right? Kings usually have beards. Gotta make him look fatherly and masculine. So I'm gonna put a little bit of a beard on him. It's a funny looking face. Let's get a little closer. I run the risk of everything getting a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Funky. A little blurred thanks to my high-end camera here. Now, he doesn't have any clothes on. I just realized that. He doesn't have any dang clothes on. So we're going to have to figure out how to put some clothes on him. What kind of clothes do I put on him? And so now I'm getting some ideas. Because I don't want him to be naked. Or do I? I've been in one of those moods lately. Try not to hold it against me. I may be old, but I'm not dead. Okay, so now I have a king. imagine his beard could probably be a little wider. What do you think? Maybe just a little wider? Let's scooch in a little bit so we can see what his face looks like. There we go. Dude, I need to put some clothes on him. I need to put some clothes on him because otherwise the Emperor has no clothes. I cannot have this. I simply can't. All right, I'm going to look on the internet again. All right, images. Okay, kind of helpful. I guess there's a band named Emperor. So if I wanted to, I could get a band t-shirt. Look at all these. These are all... I guess there's a... one from Rome. I don't know if something from an Asian empire would actually work. Oh, goodness. I do like robes. This looks kind of nice. There's something very... yeah, no. I like that one. There's an emperor's uniform. Now there's some regal. Taking some large sleeves, something really big at the waist. Okay. That's a tough one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blue pencil. And I'm going to sketch a little bit around the outline that I have. think I can get this. I think I can get this. Okay. So I want to make these lines just a little bit thinner. I love making these really bold lines because they let me know exactly where my outlines are. But when I'm trying to get some things in here. So let's see. We have a little bit of okay. I got a little bit of blue around there, and I have some ideas. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. I'm going to pull this out just a little. Okay, I'm going to start erasing a couple of things. There we go. Maybe that's not the wrinkle I'm looking for. All right. Looks like we got something that looks kind of regal and emperor-like. All right, there we go. And we have a little thing down here. First, let me grab some sort of straight edge that I can make a line with. Oh, come on now. And so I'm going to put a scepter here with an orb on top, because apparently that's what they do. Let's see what else I got here. I really like that this picture of Zeus has the world on it, but I don't see how that represents, in this particular case, a foundation, fatherly, because when I think of the globe or the earth, in symbolism, I think of Gaia, I think of Mother Earth. I don't think of Ares or the horned god or anything like that. So I'm trying to think of exactly what I would actually do. Let's see. Okay, so let's go symbolism. always know how to, I always have to come up with some really weird combinations. So I did a search for symbolism of the masculine orb, and this is what AI came up with. The masculine orb is a circular, often glowing or solid sphere that carries deep symbolic meaning across cultures, spirituality, and history. The masculine domain of order, power, protection, and cosmic authority. Oh, this is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, none of these things are helpful. Thank you for nothing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look, because the symbolism for masculine energy is usually something like the sun. So should it be the sun? Should it be a globe? Should it be an eye? I think I'm going to turn it into something that isn't the sun. I do like the symbolism of the earth, of some kind of protection, but I don't think the sun should be it, even though it is golden. So just for my own, I think I'm going to put like a little halo, and I'm going to think of this orb as a symbol of the leadership, you know. I'm going to make this orb a little smaller. And instead of a cross at the top, I'm going to put a little arrow, because that is kind of like a masculine, it's a Mercury masculine symbol in there. There we go. Okay, so we have discipline, we have foundation, we have masculine energy. So where do we take this? Where do we take this? I'm going to look on the tarot page and see what the basic interpretation of this. I know it's a masculine foundation. Discipline as in self-discipline. Because when it comes to a father figure in families, it's usually the rock, like the thing that does not move and creates a center point, you know. So I'm going to look at my tarot thing, and I'm going to see what it says. Protection, structure, boundaries, inner authority. It's a reminder that you're allowed to take up space. That's what this basic definition says. Let me show you. It's pretty straightforward, and it totally makes sense. Neat, huh? Let's make that a little bigger. Structure, boundaries, not unlike Zeus here. He's the one who protects. I am protected. I've got this. You are a child of the universe, and you deserve to be here. Own your power. I am powerful. What do you think of that, huh? So let's look in here one more time. The emperor is an impressive figure, seated on his throne of power and majesty. The emperor symbolizes the aspect in man which pushes him to build material constructions and make his creation solid. He guides the ambition which drives us to strive and to succeed. In families, it is often the father who lays down the ideals, morals, and aspirations of the family. So I'm thinking to myself, perhaps a throne in the background. Just something, a little something in the background that says, hey, I'm giving you a place at the table, right? You deserve to be here. You are part of the foundation. So let's see. I'm going to put the emperor back in the card thing here. Oh. I'm just trying to think of exactly what I can think of, because I am thinking of masculine energy and just trying to figure that one out, you know? And in the meantime, thing over here that I'm trying to figure this out. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to look at what I've got here as far as what the Emperor looks like. And all of his symbolism, kind of getting an idea of what sort of things should I put in here. Because when I think of discipline, I think of, and foundations, I think I belong here. I am real, I belong here. So let's try that. I belong here. Or I belong. I've got this. Let's see, what other things can we think of that come with the masculine energy of leadership? But I do like I belong and I am safe. I have what it takes. Let's see, I have the power. Or I have power. Let's not, when I think of I have the power, I think of by the power of Grayskull. That's not what I want to go for. This is the tarot. Tarot affirmations, not Masters of the Universe affirmations. That might be a project for another time. But for now, I am empowered. I deserve to be here. I like this. I am empowered. And I belong. I like those two. There we go. nice, very nice. All right, there we go. I am already at my thing here. So I don't know if you got a notification from yesterday, but I was streaming yesterday because my friend Ron came over. Ron came over and he taught me a few things about a song that I had almost forgotten. And that was fun, so I may end up working on it a little more on my Monday stream. And Monday is going to be weird because it looks like my harmony ladies are probably going to be meeting. That's fun, I like that. So we did the Empress and the Emperor today, doing a little tarot introspection, figuring out what the masculine and the feminine energies actually mean to us, what they affirm in us, with the Empress in her potential, her slow build in creativity and making something new, to the masculine energy that creates a foundation, something that's already there to build upon. And these two things kind of complement each other in a way. It's a polarity, it's a binary, and it's different from what we're experiencing as a culture now with gender identity. It's not the same. Think of it as science, but with a little more woo. So I'm going to end for tonight. I'm not going to go raid into anyone, even though I probably should. So remember, Monday, if you're with me, if you liked what you saw tonight, throw me a follow. If you're on YouTube, a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I'm never going to turn down a sub on Twitch. But for now, I just want to see you again. Whether it's for music on Mondays or art on Wednesdays, when we can just sit here and be philosophical. Sometimes I paint, sometimes I sculpt, but whatever it is I do, it's with creativity and a nice sense of chill and calm. Right? So with that, it's me, your friend, Wynne Blue. I'm a musician and artist out of Seattle, Washington, unless you're a Seattle purist, and then I'm actually in Bothell. Fun, right? So until next time, I want you to be good to yourself, good to each other, and let someone be good to you, because I love you and I want you to be happy. Okay? And like DBT would say if he was here, no empresses or emperors were harmed in the making of this stream. All right. So I will see you next time.